So Ark Raiders just dropped their first big update of the year, update 1.13.0. The January update is out now. This has also been called the Headwinds update. This went live just a minute ago. On Xbox, it was about 11 gigs, so expect a similar amount on whatever platform you're playing on. And the patch notes are out. We're going to run through them all today, talk through them all in detail, and I'll also show you a little bit of in-game stuff of some of these new changes as well. We've got it open here so we can jump over and have a look at some of the new features in-game. So first up, the main highlight points, we've got a solo versus squads mode. Solo versus squad is a new matchmaking option for our experienced and highly skilled players who enjoy the PvP aspect of the game. Solo Raiders level 40 and above will get the solo versus squad toggle above matchmaking to join the squad queue and tackle squads of Raiders head on. When opting in, players will receive plus 20% bonus XP at the end of the round on both successful extract and defeat as well. So we can see this in game actually. If we go here and I hide my face for a minute, you can see this has now appeared just above where the play button is. You can now turn solo squads on and off, just like you could turn squad fill on and off. So a new mode there. We saw them talking about this new thing that was going to be a level 40 plus only. That's what that is. You get the 20% bonus XP when you take part in that. And that's going to be obviously very PvP focused because you're not going to play that if you're trying to loot really. You're playing that because you want to take on some fights and show everyone that you can take on 1v3s. Next up, we got the trophy display. This is a sort of expedition thing. It says a new long-term project which requires players to hunt increasingly dangerous groups of Ark to submit their parts for rewards. Raiders will be able to build a new display case over 5 different steps, same as for the Candleberry project and basically all the projects really, and each level will add a new item to the display case. The rewards for completing each step will include blueprints as well as Raider tokens, and full completion also brings additional rewards including a Howler moat, a guitar, and 300,000 coins. There's currently no fixed end date and it will not be impacted by expedition resets. So again, we can have a little look at this in game right now. If you load up your game, once you've got the update downloaded and go over to projects, you're going to find the new one here. This is trophy display. That's the current expedition over there. This has no end date, as they say, and then you load it up and we can see it's got 5 tiers that you go through, just like all the other ones. First tier, you need rusted bolts, 3 rusted bolts, 15 pop triggers, 15 tick pods, and 5 surveyor vaults. I don't know what the other tiers are yet, but you can assume it's going to work up through the different tiers of Ark that are available. If you want any tips on killing different Ark, I've got a video up about that already, and also a new massive bumper guide on that going live tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that if you want some tips on killing bastions, rocketeers, bombardiers, easily and quickly in all sorts of different ways. We're not really sure exactly what it means by display case. I don't know if that's going to be in like your Raider room here. You're going to see your trophies displayed there some way. But it says there's going to be some stuff to display in a display case through doing this. And it says you'll get something new for each level you do as well. So I guess you might get something tick or pop themed to the first level and then higher tier stuff as you go through. Hopefully it goes in your Raider room. I think that'd look pretty cool. The next main highlight point is Bird City. So this is a map event that's on Buried City only. It says flocks of birds have moved into Buried City, building nests in the empty chimneys. We got some reports of them storing shiny trinkets inside, so make sure to inspect them. This new permanent map condition will be applied to Buried City map only, which will cycle in and out of rotation weekly. So I guess every other week we have this available. There will be more birds' nests and zip lines present on the map. Raiders can expect more combat in or around the rooftops, including more flying Ark and more players in proximity. I don't know if that means more players on the map or probably just more players condensed into those areas that have the bird's nest and that extra loot. They mentioned there's 2 new types of epic augments. It doesn't specify exactly what those are, so I guess we'll just have to find them. Let me know in the comments when you do. If you go to blueprints, you can actually see that there's extra ones here. There's 77 now and 775, so there's 2 new have been added as blueprints, so you might want to try and farm those. If you want to farm some blueprints, check out my video I did a few days ago about the best place to farm augment blueprints specifically in Ark Raiders. That's going to help you get them, and then you can probably get these new ones very, very quickly indeed. We then also have 7 new quests. They don't really go into detail in this, but if you go in game, you're going to see a new quest that you can accept, and then that is over on the side here. I haven't done it yet, but I believe that is this one, the League. This is the first quest in that tree, and then you can go through these and complete all of them. So nice to see some new quests added to the game. Still lots of other really nice stuff in the patch. We've got open parties. So this lets you set your party to open. So players can just join you if you want. If you have trouble inviting, or if you just leave it open so friends can join, people can just join now without an invite if you want to have that enabled. Also, squad invites. This makes it so your squad mates can invite people into the party, as well as the party leader being able to do that. There's also some achievement fixes. Stella Montis Seed Vault Extract fix people will be happy about. There's more details on that further down. Mouse smoothing option added, and gamepad rebinding, which is massive. Big change for console players there that we'll show you and talk about in a moment. Down in the content and bug fixes, they fixed a couple of achievements here. There were a few achievements not working properly. Those have now been fixed. That was Enemy of My Enemy and Hook, Line, and Sinker have now been fixed. A few changes to how arcs behave. The Leaper is now better at walking when it loses its legs. Dead Shredders are now properly labeled as scavengeable when pinged. Snitches fixed an issue where snitches would abort cooling down arc if players threw a lure grenade during the call, and snitches will no longer make noise after they're destroyed. Also, the Spotters fixed an issue where they would follow players into buildings and get stuck. And then ticks, when grabbed by the tick, players will now have a brief window of time where they can dodge roll to remove the tick. So totally new gameplay mechanic there for dealing with ticks. Down in audio, they fixed an issue where emotes were missing voice lines, fixed some voice chat cutting in and out, and improved voice chat connection. Down on map, there's a few little bug fixes and tweaks here. The types of containers that can spawn condition-specific blueprints have been lowered during electromagnetic storm, hidden bunker, and locked gate. That's quite important. So that's, for example, on locked gate, you can get the Bobcat blueprint. It's the only way to get it. And previously, you could get it in basically any container. People were finding loads of them. That's now been changed, so they will be harder to find, save for hidden bunker and storm. Raise the chances of finding higher tier weapons in weapon cases is great, because weapon cases are 99% of the time completely terrible. Slightly lower the chances of finding Matriarch and Queen unique parts in their armor pieces to make it a bit harder to get them without destroying them completely. So that will make it harder for people to just sneak around, not help fight the Queen and Matriarch, and grab a part from a piece and then just run off. They might actually have to wait till the thing gets completely destroyed and then fight over the parts from the main body of the Queen or Matriarch. So good change there. Fixed multiple containers across all maps that were not interactable. Fixed a Raider hatch timing bug and camera getting stuck when the interaction fails. Sounds great. Over on Dam, they've tweaked some of the cliffs around the Raider outpost tower on the Dam where players tended to get stuck. Adjusted the elevator shaft collision to prevent players from getting stuck on the Dam controller. Fixed collision issues inside Pattern House on Dam. And fixed an issue where players could reach unintended locations on water treatment. Over on Buried City, invisible wall removed beneath the Buried City highway, and the puzzle for the guitar, the musical puzzle with the buttons, that's been removed, and you can now buy the guitar from Shani. Spaceports had some issues with floating rocks and grass fixed, and they've adjusted arc spawn locations to do with the bunker antennas and the hidden bunker map event. On Stella, one of the biggest ones you'll be pleased to hear, fixed the Seed Vault extraction glitch that allowed players to remain in the extraction point after it had closed. That was being abused by lots of people and has now been fixed. Night raid lighting has been updated, so most lamps are now turned off on Stella. Fixed 40 locations where players would get frequently stuck. So if you found one of those, hopefully it's now been fixed. And also, I love this one, fixed the Bastion in Stella Montis being able to spawn out of bounds and attack players through walls. I would love to have seen a clip of that. Miscellaneous, there's loads of stuff here, various fixes. Option for mouse smoothing is going to be good news for PC players. Added a matchmaking delay option for stream sniping mitigation. So good change if you're a big streamer and that's a concern for you. Fixed an issue that allowed players to play the guitar while using the zipline. I'm not really sure why that's an issue, but they fixed it. Made aim assist consistent across different frame rates. This is really interesting because there was a lot of hoo-ha recently from a Nick Merckx clip, I think it was, some big streamer, where they were playing controller on PC and the aim assist looked crazy and it didn't really look like how aim assist is a tool on console. And some of the difference on that was probably down to frame rate. When you're playing at a lower frame rate and a higher frame rate, the aim assist is going to behave, or was behaving, differently. And they've now tried to make that consistent. So it's going to be interesting to see if it feels more different on console with a lower frame rate on 60 or on PC with a much higher frame rate. Hopefully it feels the same on console, because on PC it looked crazy and overpowered, and on console, which is what I mostly tend to play, it doesn't really feel overpowered or broken at all. Fixed issues with inputs not always registering at frame rates above 30. Fixed an issue where one of the macro set helmet variants appeared incorrect in game. Fixed some trinket items not being placeable in trinket slots in one of the augments. I've seen that one before. Clipping issues. An issue with lens flare. Fixed an issue where the selected codec entry wasn't working. Fireworks boxes will get set off randomly. Fixed some graphics settings, resetting to default on restarting the game on PS5. And lighting polish on various maps. Down under movement, we got fixed an issue where player movement would temporarily be unresponsive after having network issues, fixed an issue where players would fall off a ladder when attempting to descend shortly after climbing to the top, and fixed an issue where players would automatically jump off a ladder when entering whilst crouched. Down on UI, we've got a few decent changes here. Added a new tab to the options menu that allows free binding of most gamepad buttons. So let me show you that quickly for the console players. If you now go into your settings, this is on the Xbox Series X, by the way. We go over to controller, and then below all this stuff, this is everything that was there before. But once we get down to this section, you can see we've now got all of this stuff that you can actually assign, as well as being able to set hold aim or toggle aim. You can do the same for sprint, same for crouch. There's all these different things that we can now assign and give them buttons and change these to whatever we want to change them to. And it warns you if you're going to overwrite something else. So it's got all these different stuff you can change here. Most of your controls, if not all of them, can now be rebound to whatever button you want on your controller, which is great, especially if you use like paddles and stuff on your controller. It's going to let you set up your controller in a much more dynamic and helpful way. There was none of this before. You couldn't assign any buttons to anything. You just had to deal with, there wasn't even default controller schemes. You just had to go with what it was, and that was it. So really good change to see there for our console players. Back on UI, they fixed the display of VoIP trigger actions when playing with gamepad on PC and improved the wording to make the current VoIP mode more obvious, which is great. Fixed an issue where the UI would sometimes display too low inventory value in Expedition sign-up. Fixed an issue where weapons placed in Expedition provided stash slots did not appear in the weapon upgrade screen. Fixed an issue where item amounts didn't display for non-stackable items in project donation rewards and trial rewards. Added the option of open party we talked about earlier, so players can just join your party without an invite if you want to set that as on. Add the options for squad mates to invite other players, as well as the leader we talked about earlier on. A new display will be shown when a friend joins the party of a player that is topside. So you can join someone's party when they're in a raid, and then you'll just be in their lobby when they come out. And also for Discord users, you can invite Discord friends to join if you've got your Discord linked with your Embark account. Down on utility, fix zipline anchor point updating its position correctly when on a moving platform. Changing augments in your loadout now arranges the excess items in the stash better. And fixed an issue where two players using a defib at the same time would revive a down player with full HP. Interesting one there. They've added some additional interactions to the final objective groundbreaking quest. That's one of the existing quests. Anticheat, this is a really interesting one. A 3 strikes progressive ban system is in the process of being implemented. Bans will progress from 30 days to 60, and finally a permaban for repeat offenders. Couple of known issues. Solo versus squad matchmaking option doesn't have a pop-up when it becomes available at level 40. Cosmetics acquirable through Raider tokens have not yet been purchased may be missing from the customization menu. One of the macro set helmets variants may appear incorrectly in preview, but will appear correctly in game. And players may occasionally not receive a skill point as indicated in the results screen. A reboot playing another round fixes the issue. That's an issue that's been around for a little while that we've seen going on. So that's everything for the patch notes. Hope you found that useful. I just wanted to go through them for everyone who's sat at work and can't get into the game and have a look at it. Gives you a bit of information and show you some of that stuff in game as well. Let me know what you're most interested in from these patch notes. I think there's a lot of really positive stuff in there. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like and a sub. And don't forget to check out some of my other Arc Raiders guides. Like I said, I've got one on how you can easily find augment blueprints if you want to try and farm these new epic ones they've just released today. And I've got my new guide on killing Arc going out tomorrow, so make sure you check that as well so you can fill up your new trophy case. Thanks so much for watching. My name's Ben, we are the Beard Guys, and I'll see you next time.